What's up, beer drinkers? How y'all doing this week? We got another great show for you again this week. Not only do we drink and review some delicious beers, but we also have a couple of good beer news stories. We kick Bud Light when they're down yet again. And then in our cold brew list, we list off the Bourbon County brand stout variants that are coming. They're dropping on Black Friday. And then at the end, we talk football, mostly 49ers, and we were recording during the Sunday night game. So we talk a little bit about that Sunday night game and how there were two terrible teams. So anyway, please follow us on Untapped and Instagram, search Cold Brew Podcast. And without further ado, it's time for another Cold Brew.
What's going down, y'all? You know the deal.
Coming at you, pre-recorded from Cold Brew Studios. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic, and we're here to talk about beer.
Yes, we are.
How you doing this week, man?
Well, crazy week. Yeah, kids still getting adjusted to the time change. Then the holiday week too. Had a wild weekend. Just trying to get them back on track and enjoying themselves. Granted, they had a lot of fun. They just when it's time to go down or wake up, they're still off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like you said, I think last week they'll get it. They'll eventually get it.
Hopefully.
By the time they get it, it'll be time to switch back.
Jeez.
All right, man. Yeah, you ready to talk about your beer?
Sure.
All right, let's get to it then. Today, I have in front of me from our good friends out in Litchfield Park, Arizona. I have their next stop is the West Side Motel. I was there today at Transplant City Beer Company. I changed the brakes on my car, and I have to, what do they call them? Bed in the brakes. You know, I had to break them in. And so I was like, yeah, you know, I'll take a little ride. And it's kind of hard to find a deserted road around here, so I drove over to my work and did it on the private road that comes from the main road. And so I went up and down and, you know, stopped really aggressively a few times, let the brakes warm up. And then since I was down there, I went over to Transplant City Beer Company because I hadn't been there in a while. And yeah, so I had a couple beers and I saw this one. I'm like, I'll save it for the show. So I got a can of it. And it is, let's see, what is it? 6.4% alcohol by volume, and it's a West Coast IPA. Looking up to see if they have the, it has Cascade, Citra, Columbus, and Amarillo hops. So without further ado, pop off. What do you got?
I have from our friends down at Tioga Sequoia, I have their Half Dome Wheat.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. So just to pull back the curtain, shout out to LT from the Fresno faction.
Oh, yeah.
As this was a residual from our last game. So although, what do I want to say? A couple weeks old, it's still fresh. And description of this beer is like Yosemite National Park's iconic Half Dome, our Half Dome California wheat is one of a kind. Its juicy mouthfeel and unfiltered body make it smooth and easy to drink. And when it comes to flavor, Half Dome reaches new heights, packed with peaches grown in the Central Valley. So it's 4.7 ABV, and 18 SRM. I'm sorry. ABV is 4.7, IBU is 18, and SRM is 4.
Oh, okay, good.
So any further ado, pop off.
Hey, even if the SRMs aren't that far off from each other.
But if the ABV is 18, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, what are they doing out there in Fresno?
All right.
Oh man, yeah.
You don't want it.
They do something right out there. I love Half Dome. You know, I've been fortunate to go to Yosemite. I don't know, maybe about 6 to 8 times in my life, and it's always a gorgeous place. And Half Dome is a sight to behold. I can't even articulate the perfect expression for it.
Beautifully, especially right there in Yosemite Valley, basically the heart of the whole park.
Yeah,
You look up, see that huge rock formation, just really, really breathtaking.
yeah, very much so. All right, so back to my beer. The next stop is the West Side Motel. This was really good. It's a really good West Coast IPA. It's crisp, clean, dank, and super. And by that I mean it's bitter, and it's put together very well. I did when I was there. I had a couple of hazies. That's why I kind of wanted to do something different. I have had this beer before, but it's got to be like over a year, maybe a year and a half since I've had it. So it's kind of like almost brand new to me. And when I had it, I was at the brewery and I just had a pint of it, and I wasn't drinking it critically. So this is not my first time sipping on it critically, and it's really good. And I will articulate to use that term again, my tasting later on during our Untapped portion of the show. But for now, how's your beer treating you?
The next stop is the East Side Motel.
Getting it settled, it's it does got that peach note to it, which is a nice surprise. Like at the end, the finish, it's it has a pretty sweet to it. It has a nice sweetness to it.
Very nice. All right, so we will rate our beers later, like I said, during our Untapped portion of the show. Be sure to follow us on Untapped. Just search Cold Brew Podcast and friend us, and we'll friend you back. But right now, it's time for some beer news. All right, this first story comes to us from Vine Pair, from our good friend Dave Infante. I've read a few of his stories before. Here is the headline: breaking down craft beer's big new jobs report. So every October, the jobs report comes to us from the the Labor Commission? I forget. And in this case, he breaks down what some of our friends at the breweries make. So let's see here, some common jobs and overall weighted averages. Let's see here. Head brewer, assistant brewmaster. The average annual salary is $72,556. Marketing event coordinator. The average salary is $51,142. Packaging operator makes about $23.63 per hour. Operations production manager director. Here we go. This is a better salary. $1,115,520 or $1,115,528 annual. And a tasting room assistant manager, $58,294. And rounding out the bottom of the list again this year is crack whore. So a little shout out to Norm.
Norm, yes.
Anyway, there are about 80 jobs total covered by the report in the brewing industry, and they cover basically every role you'd expect to find at a modern craft brewery. I won't list them all here because that would be too boring, and maybe also plagiarism. But with responses from 60 participating organizations representing 7,396 employees, the study is a fantastic tool for workers and owners alike to get a handle on how much the market will bear for labor. Another worthy tool, the chart of, that's what it's called, the Bureau of Labor Statistics wage data for beverage alcohol producers that Field Goods Analysis and Sightlines Plus. Editor Brian Roth has been collating for years. Of course, when it comes to craft brewing labor, There's no such thing as one national market. There are 10,000 breweries in rural, suburban, and urban locations across the 50 states with different beer laws and costs of living. You'd expect tipped pub and tasting room staff with food to be making more money in New York than, for example, Chesterfield, Virginia. Still, the BA notes that organizational size still drives wage and salary levels far more than geography, and elected not to provide geographic averages for salaries to avoid giving the false sense of variations based on the interaction of size and geography. So there you go. I think that's pretty cool. Someone actually takes that and filters everything and lets us know where everyone's standing at or sitting at or making in the craft beer market. All right, next one. Gotta go back to Bud Light. Love beating a dead horse. But Bud Light has a new plan as boycotts continue after a huge scandal. The Anheuser-Busch InBev CEO, Michael Ducaris, faces a problem of his company's own creation. Let's see. Budweiser was a brand that saluted veterans, celebrated the NFL, and made people teary with ads featuring its famous Clydesdale horses. Bud and Bud Light were brands that wrapped themselves in the American flag in vague ways that never touched the third rail of politics. Let's see here. Still, after the backlash Anheuser-Busch faced when it brought back its LGBTQ plus supportive rainbow cans in 2022, the company could have seen the waning signs. That move was followed by Bud Light partnering with transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney for what should have been the small, under-the-radar outreach effort to increase the brand sales to Mulvaney's followers and the broader LGBTQ plus community. Let's see, I'm skip through here. Ducaris likely did not sign off on the Mulvaney partnership as it was a very small, social media-only deal. It's possible he was aware of it and simply believed that Bud Light drinkers would not care if the company was trying to grow outside its traditional audience. The CEO has made it clear that he understands what lapsed customers want from their former favorite beer. Here's a quote from him. Consumers continue to want the Bud Light brand to concentrate on the platforms that all consumers love, and we are doing just that through investing in partnerships with the NFL, Fields of Honor, news platform, college football, and our recently announced return to partnering with the UFC. 2, they want Bud Light to focus on beer. Basically, Ducaris has learned that Bud Light drinkers, at least many of the 260,000 of them his company has interacted with since the boycott began, don't want anything they view as politically associated with their beer. Anheuser-Busch and Ducaris may not see a marketing partnership with a transgender person as being political, but now the CEO clearly understands that a large portion of his company's audience does. They want that beer without a debate. We are taking the feedback and working hard towards our consumers' business every day across the world. The CEO, who never stood up to protect Mulvaney, but who has also not apologized for the partnership, seems resigned to doing what it takes to appease his customers. Another quote, the Bud Light Easy to Summer and Easy to Sunday campaigns are all about bringing people together over a beer for the moments that matter. Notably, a recent study found that over 40% of lapsed Bud Light drinkers said they are now more open to come back to drinking Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch InBev saw its revenues decline by 13.5% in the quarter, which the company blamed primarily due to volume decline of Bud Light. So there you go. They kind of want to just close their eyes, ignore it, and hope it all goes away.
Yeah, you know, that in sports talk, there was a lot of, notoriety with this Bud Light or Budweiser UFC deal.
Yeah.
At the same time, no terms were disclosed. They just agreed on a partnership.
Yeah.
And, I saw, still of damage control with Bud Light. And, so be it. It just, it's still taking time. Is what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I don't know if they'll ever get their number one volume sold title back, but they'll get some of their customers back. They'll get their, and they're not hurting. It's not like it's their only brand either.
Yeah, but like, I don't care about UFC. Granted, I think it's great. I'll catch it when I can. When I was a lot younger, I followed it a lot more. But like something that came out, I guess, more than in social media, more than who fought or what the results were. Was it Trump, Kid Rock, and Dana White? They all came out together, and it was just that was making more news than, like I said, who won the fights, or even like I said, like 2 weeks ago when the Budweiser deal went down. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I remember, didn't Trump and even his son say, hey, like, if this is a good American brand, you should start buying it again. I think maybe they have some interest in AB InBev or something.
Yeah, but, probably.
Same with Dana White. I think the partnering the UFC and stuff like that is not. I think those works were already in deal. That just seems like something that they have been talking about for a few months now.
Because I'm sorry. Just real quick though, too. Just it's also kind of like Budweiser trying to get in the realm too, because like Canelo fights Modelo's all over the place. He, like there's a big partnership there. So with that said, it's kind of just a business move for Budweiser too. They gotta be in the combat realm or the combat sport realm,
right? Hey, yeah.
Wouldn't that be the beer company sponsoring tanks and shit to go to war?
They have Bud Light on the side of the tank.
Yeah.
Hey, do you still go to the? I know you still go to the game.
Bomber, Bud Light 2 bombers in there. No,
do the Bud Light still have the plaza up there in at Levi's? Still the sponsor? Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't switch it like to Budweiser Plaza?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they still around. Not going anywhere. All right, that's all I have for the beer news this week. And you know what that means?
I think I do.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment on Cold Brew, because it's my favorite segment. It's time for the Cold Brew List.
As we proceed to give you what you need.
Let me ask you this. Are you going to line up on Black Friday?
No, I am not.
Okay.
I don't do that anymore.
Well, I got to do it so this show will drop in time. Well, before time for the Black Friday's beer tradition of Bourbon County brand Stout.
Yep.
That's going to be dropped on Black Friday for this year. Oh, I totally screwed that up, but let's continue.
All right.
Well, I have a list of the beers, the variants that are going to be featured.
Okay.
All right. So, for 2023, the Bourbon County brand Original Stout, obviously.
Yeah.
Then the Bourbon County brand Eagle Rare 2-year Reserve Stout.
Hey now.
Ooh. Eagle Rare is a very, very nice offering from Buffalo Trace Distillery. It's actually one of the few American whiskeys with a 10-year age statement on it, which is, barrel aged for 10 years. That's nothing to scoff at. And it is becoming more harder to get, too. So, with that said, it's a quality one. Let's see. Bourbon County brand Angel's Envy 2-year cask finish stout. Again, Angel's Envy. And shoot, I don't know if they're owned by anyone. I think it just is Angel's Envy on that distillery. Again, another fine bourbon company that is pairing up for this release. Then 2023, they're bringing back the Banana Foster Stout. Now, I remember when I first started getting into Bourbon County brand stout, the proprietors blend or proprietor's label that year was a tribute to Bananas Foster style dessert with the beer. So, in my eyes, I mean, this is just them kind of bringing it back. However, not labeling it the proprietors because they probably have something else this year.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking forward to. I hope I can get some of that.
Yeah, me too. And then too, going back to the history, like the proprietor's style or label, if you will, really tended to be a dessert heavy style combination.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree? Am I remembering right? Misremembering?
I don't remember all the variants that were labeled the prop style, but I do know they brew less of it, so it's more of a it's more rare.
All right. Well, going on down the list, the Bourbon County brand Backyard Stout.
Oh, they put some grass in it.
Probably some cleats. Cleats were cleaned off and thrown in the vat of beer.
Oh,
barrel aging.
a la Willy Wonka. Gives it a little kick.
There you go. Exactly. And then to round out the list, the Bourbon County brand Stout Proprietor Stout. So going down, the tasting notes on that one. Okay, well the beer, I'm not gonna get into all of them because it's kind of obvious, but the proprietor's one, it's supposed to be Chicago market only. The same base stout with those darkly roasted malts and Millennium hops. This version rests in bourbon barrels with, I can't even say it.
No, you can tell us.
Cassia bark.
Okay.
How do you say this? Cassia.
I think that's how you say it. Cassia.
Yeah. And it's bark, toasted rice, raisins, and natural flavor in parentheses. Added to the beer as it ages would. The tasty notes: the nose, brown rice pops dusted with cinnamon chocolate powder, draw you in on the nose with a hint of vanilla pudding and maybe some clove. Interesting.
Maybe. Hey, what are the tasty notes on the shoot, what was that one you said? The Backyard.
Oh yeah, Backyard. Backyard Stout. So it's Goose Island Stout is loaded into bourbon barrels, and then mulberries, boysenberries, and marionberries.
All right then.
Shout out PDX. Are added to the beer as it rests, so it tastes bright blackberry and huckleberry pop on the nose with a deep, dark chocolate that gets a little creamy on the back end of the nose as it attaches to vanilla cream and a whisper of woody winter spice sparks dipped in cherry syrup and gooseberry jam.
Wow, everything but the berries they added. Have you ever had a huckleberry?
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, me neither. I've seen Huckleberry Hound. It's about I think as close as I get, but Marionberry's cool.
Tombstone.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, shout out Doc Holliday.
That's right.
Rest in peace.
Who, Doc Holliday or Val Kilmer?
Holiday. Is Val Kilmer dead?
No, I don't think so. But Doc Holliday definitely is, though. He died in the 1800s, though.
Still.
Yeah, okay, still. R.I.P. to the good doctor.
Thoughts and prayers of Doc Holliday.
And Big Nose Kate.
Yeah.
All right, very good. I'm excited. I mean, you can say what you want. They're owned by AB InBev. You know, they sold out, blah, blah, blah. But I still get excited for Bourbon County brand Stout because it is a quality beer. And all the variants, you know, if you're lucky enough to try some, get some. I know I have some in my cellar right now. And I still build my vertical. But, I mean, it's almost time to start drinking the vertical because they ain't getting any better.
Right.
So
they're going to start getting horizontal on. Hey.
I think. Well, I brought that 2015 right to the Invitational, Firestone Walker Invitational when we did the bottle share. So I think the next one would be 2016. I don't even know if I have any more 15s. I might. But anyway, so that's how far.
We'll coordinate. We'll bring a vert to next Firestone if we're going.
Okay, that's the. I think that's my oldest right now. Is this 2016? That's all I was saying. I was just voicing it. All right, thanks for the great beer list story, or the cold brew list. And I guess it was a beer list this time. Not always a beer list, but this time it was. So how's your beer treating you, man?
Yep, almost gone.
Very nice. We are gonna rate
the sweetness.
Yeah,
the sweetness mellows out though, so it's very I don't want to say it's there. It's I'm not saying it's not tart, but it's not as sweet as it used to be. So it's a nice compliment.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right.
Compliment like flavor. That's what I meant. Not that I'm giving good compliments. Sorry.
All right. So it was Half Dome, right?
I say a lot of good stuff on the show.
I hope I'm recording right now. All right.
Make something up. I'm not doing this.
All right, here we go. Half Dome. Oh, it's labeled on Untapped as Half Dome California Wheat because there's already another Half Dome by Track Brewing Company. So Half Dome California Wheat. All right, what would you like to rate this beer at?
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. You know, it's a nice, American craft or California craft style. Really nice. The peach is nice. It doesn't really do anything for me though. I'm not trying to be negative about it.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. Let's check in. Out of 1 through 5, what would you like to rate this at?
Didn't I say 3.5?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Right now, there is an overall rating of 3.69, and one of our friends has rated it at a 3.5, just like you, and that's our buddy Aztec77, aka LT, the one who gave it to you. Gave it a 3.5. Is he in your ear right now, telling you to rate it 3.5?
Yes.
Okay. 3.5, and what notes would you like to leave?
What was it? Weedy, sweet, and peachy.
All right. Wheat. Oop, not woody, but weedy. Sweet and peachy. Save and check in. Let's see here. Mine is the next stop is the West Side Motel by Transplant City Beer Company. I like this one. West Coast IPA, really good. All the hops come together very nicely. And so I'll give this one a 4.2. Let me get rid of all these stupid badges. Close the cards, and let's see here. Next stop is the... Oops, I misspelled. Why can't they know what I want? There it is. Next stop is the West Side Motel. Has an overall rating of 3.97. One of our friends has rated it. Allie, my friend Allie, gave it a 4.5. So let's see here. Let's check in. 4.2. And I'm going to say it is, let's see here. Danky. Hoppy. And shoot, I should have thought ahead for the lyric tie-in. What do you call it? Regulate.
Oh, geez.
All right, so Danky, Hoppy, and Smooth. Just like Nate Dogg's voice.
Pretty much.
All right. Oh, yeah. Let's talk a little bit of football. Now I will just pull back the curtain a little bit. I failed to get the Coach's Corner ready in time, so we'll have it next week. But what'd you think of? Did you get a chance to listen to or watch any of the games today?
Yeah, I pretty much listened to the first half of the game and watched the second half of the game.
Okay, the 49er game we're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good win, back on track. I mean, Jacksonville, they they 6-2 record. However, yeah, they were held to only 3 points today. Lot of breaks went the Niners' way. 4 turnovers. Purdy looked a little bit more back on track. Defense are great.
You think that had to do with Steve Wilkes being on the sideline, or you think it was just a week and that they just came together and say, "Look, we got to stop fucking around and start acting like we did in the week 1 and 2 and 3 and against Dallas."
You can see a little bit of both. Here's my thing about Steve Wilkes in the booth was, he's been a head coach, he's been a coordinator. I think he was seasoned enough where he had the right to do what he wanted to do. And maybe he just wanted to be in the booth just to see more, to get down there more. But, a lot of guys like that, going to their coach and having him on the sideline. And even, in the past, Saleh and D'Amico Ryans, I mean, they would get fired up with the guys. And
right.
they like that as well. Now, I didn't see any of that necessarily with when they panned to Wilkes, although I did see him talking up his guys and in the players' ear rather than coaches to relay his message. So I don't know. And then with the tablets too, that he could bring in screenshots and show them the aerial views for the next set. So I don't know. Maybe being in the booth does have limits. However, I felt he was a good enough coach to, if that's where he wanted to be, so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally understand. Plus, you get an overall view of the game. You see how the flow is, everything. But maybe those, when the players come out the field and say, "Hey, coach, they're doing this or that," it's more immediate and more, firsthand accounting of it rather than through a headset or something. So, anyway, regardless, the 49ers, I think, not only won the game, they won the takeaway or the turnover battle too. I think 4-0. They had 4 turnovers to Jacksonville's 0. That really fucking helped too. I thought it was nice. They were trying to get McCaffrey into the end zone at the end, but it's like, what's the point, man? I mean, why? If it happened during the game, cool. If it's not, then I was worried he was going to get hurt.
Right.
So I don't know. I didn't like that part of the game. I understand why they did it, and Shanahan's looking out for his players as far as the records, but that's not something that you're not going to get a bonus check for getting so many in a row. You get the bonus check for fucking winning the Super Bowl. So let's worry about that rather than getting him in the end zone for a garbage touchdown. They should have just
definitely.
But anyway, regardless, at least he didn't get hurt, thankfully, at the end there. And it was a really good win, especially on the road. Both teams had byes, so I was kind of worried a little bit that Jacksonville was going to come and lay the wood a little bit more than they did, but they shit the bed, really, scoring 3 points at their own house, all the way East Coast. They always say that it's harder to travel east than it is west. To get up.
Yeah, I mean, even McAfee complained about that for the Niners, saying, especially because there weren't a lot of games in the afternoon.
Yeah,
it's like the Niners at least deserved a 4:00 kick, in the East Coast rather than a noon or whatever, or 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
I don't know how it pans out over there, but I get that if you're a West Coast team.
Yeah,
I mean that's almost something that they should try to continue. And people were saying, or that's another thing that they were bringing up is, AI could, make this, making the season schedule used to take, time used to take like weeks or 2, but now AI could do one in 10 minutes,
Yeah. Well, they were saying, I think like on the Amazon broadcast, they were touting their AWS was the one who came up with the schedule this year. And my jokey comment was, well, then why did they make their own Amazon Prime games on Thursday better than the matchups anyway?
Right.
But
yeah.
But as far as like the why didn't they flex this game out to Sunday night? the San Francisco Jacksonville game instead of the dud we're getting right now with the Jets Raiders.
Yeah, I mean the promise of a flex versus the delivery isn't as great as I thought it would be. Remember when they said they'd start doing that, and then it's like, oh yeah, but we're not, or we don't.
Yeah.
And what do they need? They need like a 10-day advance. So it's almost like you still gotta kind of wait to see how a team's gonna do.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
I guess so.
So hypothetically, like they were banking on maybe the Niners winning last week too, before they would, officially announce it. So it's kind of like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Rocking a hard place on what could get through or done.
Yeah, but Jets and Raiders, you could have saw that from the beginning of the start of the season. It was going to be terrible. I mean, Baltimore, Cleveland turned out to be really good, and we already knew that was going to be good. They always play a hard-fought game. Even after a few weeks, you could have saw that Chargers Lions would have been a high-scoring affair. But anyway, it is what it is. This week is done, and time to move on to the next week. And who the Niners have next week? Well, let me see if I can click on there. Oh, they have the Bucks at home.
Yeah.
And the Bucks, the Bucks are lively. They don't go down easy. So it's gonna be.
They're on bye this week, right?
No, they played this. They played today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mike Evans had a hell of a game. Hold on, I think it was. Oops, wrong click. It was
the Titans.
The Titans. Yeah, it was 20-6. Yeah. It was looking like all Titans at first. Well, all Titans. It was like 3-0 for a while. And then 3-7, and then 3-17, and then by the end the Titans couldn't do anything. But Mike Evans had a great game. What do you have like? Let's see the box score here. Rashad White, he had a really good game too.
Oh wow, 6 for 143.
Yeah,
and
there
a
you
touchdown.
Go. Yeah, that touchdown was like he caught the ball it was a turnaround at the goal line. He kind of just pushed himself into the end zone. He willed himself into the end zone. Yeah, he had a hell of a game today. So they have to watch out for that. But I thought Rashad White had a better game than he did. He was 20 carries for 51 yards. That's terrible. I think I just saw that 11-yard play he did. I think he had a touchdown. It was a receiving. That was what it was. He didn't have a good run, but he had a good receiving day. 2 for 47 with the touchdown, with a 43-yard catch and run.
Nice.
But anyway, so yeah.
I'm sorry, looking ahead. At least Thursday looks like promising. Bengals Ravens. That could be a good one.
Oh yeah,
they both need to get on track.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they both had horrible losses today in their fans' perspective. Anyway, they both had. Yeah. They were both in the Bengals were down, right? The Bengals were down and they caught up and then they got the lead, I think, or they got tied it up. And then Stroud, man, that guy's having one hell of a rookie year.
Yeah.
So, he's actually making his team win. And then the Ravens, I think they were up like 24-9 at one point. And in the fourth quarter, I think they were up 2 scores, and they ended up losing. What a fucking crazy ass game that was. I was paying attention to that one. But anyway, so next week we'll have Coach's Corner. We do have a new coach on the block. The Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Anthony Pierce or Antonio?
Antonio.
Oh, okay. Antonio Pierce. Right now, let's see what's the game at? It's 9-9 right now. Raiders tied it up. A bunch of field goals. Everyone's kicking field goals left and right. Daniel Carlson, Greg Zuerlein. Let's see if someone can put it in the end zone. But right now, the Antonio Pierce is 1-0 and trying to make that 2-0. All right, man. You got anything else for this episode of Cold Brew?
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
No.
Thank you for downloading. Okay. Thank you for downloading yet again another Cold Brew podcast.
Oh yeah. A toast to the troops.
Oh, yeah.
All the
Both sides. Thank you for downloading yet again another Cold Brew podcast. I am Greg. He is Sorcerer Chromatic. And we'd like to wish you cheers.
Cross-training spar. We raise the bar and we put it in your ear no matter who you are. Worst come the worst, my peoples come first. Worst come the worst. Worst come the worst, my peoples come first. My peoples come first.